I was a Hope student, so I think that helped. But I was a theater major and a dance minor. Um, I think what's fascinating to me is coming back and it really is different. I think my fear was that it was going to feel boring because I was a student, and then I came back. And coming back as a faculty member, it's completely different. It's just a whole other side of the college that you don't get to see as a student. So that presents interesting situations. Um, I think, one of the things I discovered, and this is one of the things, I got my master's at the University of Michigan, which is sort of like the antithesis of Hope College. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the one thing I found interesting when I was there is that for as open-minded as that culture is, the one thing you couldn't be was a Christian, which I found very fascinating. That, as soon as people found out that I was a Christian, they sort of had a negative connotation or viewpoint of me, without even speaking to me, which I thought was interesting because that was very closed-minded in an area that presents itself as very open-minded. And so coming back to Hope, I looked forward to that of not necessarily, having to sort of feel like I had to keep my Christianity quiet. Of course, then you have the opposite side of the spectrum where then I think sometimes people can very much, and this maybe goes to again, what's our role in the Hope community, in the Holland community, is I get questions a lot in terms of well, how do you, reconcile being a professional dancer and a Christian? And I always, as if like I said earlier, that one or the other has to win. And number two, it's how do you use your dancing to, promote, Christianity? And I always say well, I don't. And that seems to shock people a lot. So, I didn't have a concern about it, but I knew I was going to be entering, in some ways, almost the same situation that I had at U of M, but it was just flipped. So where at U of M, everybody's very accepting of my dance career and my artistic ideas and things like that, but we're very scared, I would say, of my Christian viewpoint. Sometimes here at Hope or in Holland, everybody's very accepting of me being a Christian, but are very scared of the idea of me being an artist and a dancer. And so I'll go back to your previous question. Did I have any fears when I decided to come to Hope as a teacher? And my answer was absolutely yes. When I was a student at Hope, Hope and Holland were two separate entities, and none shall the two meet. It was like the Jets and the Sharks, And downtown wanted nothing to do with Hope College, right? 8th Street, and Hope had wanted nothing to do with. This is what it felt like as a student, and Hope wanted nothing to do with 8th Street. So for example, JP's was always there, but JP's I think closed at 9 o'clock at night. Maybe even earlier, maybe 8, and as a college student, you're dude, that's when I need to start drinking my coffee, so there was no coffee shop to go to late at night, for study sessions. There certainly were no breweries there, I think that